You don't need to go to Niagara Falls when you can eat some Brian balls.
What is going on, NASCAR Diecast collectors and Diecast viewers on YouTube? This is Original Big Bri here, and welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Diecast News, hosted by me, Brian LaFleur Jr., also known as Original Big Bri. And as always, guys, I'm bringing you all your weekly NASCAR Diecast news. Well, in this case, the past 2 weeks of what you guys have missed on the latest episode of the NASCAR Diecast News, covering these last 2 weeks that you guys might have missed. And yeah, we definitely do got a lot of cool things to talk about, guys. Of course, we got the return of newly released diecast from our good friends at Plan B Sales, Casey Diecast, and you guessed it, Lester's Diecast as well. All those wonderful diecast dealers that we'll check out very shortly with the new release diecast. And we also do got some interesting 2017 pre-orders as well. We got a good amount of them from Martinsville and Texas, covering those 2 weeks, and also some good looking throwbacks as well. So we get on to those pre-orders as well. And we do got some more cancellations, 10 more cancellations that are going to be announced here on the NASCAR Diecast News and more. But before we get into that, guys, we are actually gonna go and cue things off with the slideshow. So take it away. Alrighty, everybody on YouTube, welcome to the NASCAR Diecast News. I'm your host, like I've said, Brian LaFleur Jr. or Original Big Bri, whichever way you guys want to remember me by. But this is the NASCAR Diecast News, and of course, with the NASCAR Diecast News, how we start off every episode, we're going to do your newly released diecast, the return of that. We finally got some new diecast coming in from our good friends at Lionel Racing, also by our sponsor dealers as well, that we highly recommend checking out. Of course, Plan B Sales and their wonderful big warehouse, Casey Diecast, which is basically just like an exact replica of Plan B Sales, and Lester's Diecast, which is my local diecast dealer. So we're gonna get on to the 164s real quick, guys, and we do got two new Martrex Junior cars from 2016 now released at those local local diecast dealers I just previously mentioned. I'll put all the links in the description if you guys want to buy these cars. So we got the Martin Truex Jr. Auto Owners Darlington throwback car. So yep, another throwback car finally getting released, and of course this is I mean, yes, it is a throwback car to well, it's actually mostly a company throwback, so not too many people were a big fan of that, but it was really cool to see Martin Truex Jr. finally get somewhat of a throwback. But I would love to see if he could do this year maybe a Bass Pro Shops throwback. That'd be awesome. Maybe a throwback to his DEI car. I think that would be amazing coming from a Martin Truex Jr. fan myself. But of course, this car looks very familiar, racing the throwback retro scheme from his main sponsor in that race, the Auto Owners Insurance. He ended up winning this race, the Southern 500 from last year. So of course, this car ain't the race version, but the 124 race version of this car should be coming out very shortly, guys. Maybe in later this month or starting next month. So any Truex Jr. fans are looking forward to get this diecast. Now it's a good time to get it, and waiting for that 124 car, the race version. Just bear with us. Hopefully, you know, all your good friends at Plain B Sales and Lionel Racing are already on their ways to get those cars released very shortly. But speaking of some more Martin Truex Jr. cars, we got his Bass Pro Shops NRA Museum car, and this is a really nice looking car. And of course, the 124 version of this car was canceled, but luckily this car just made MOQ to make the 164 version, and man, oh man, it looks nice. This is the NRA Bass Pro Shops paint scheme that he drove, I believe, at the August Bristol race, if I'm not mistaken. That's the race that Kevin Harvick won at. So that's pretty cool, and plus that was also the main sponsor of that race, the what was it, Bass Pro Shops NRA night race at Bristol, the 500-mile race or whatever it's called. But yeah, really cool seeing that. Like I said, this is a really cool looking I almost said throwback, a really cool looking Bass Pro Shop scheme. I'm always a big fan of the Martin Truex Jr. Bass Pro Shop schemes, and this one right here, I love the American colors on this car. It looks very nice, and quite a good looking American car if you ask me. So highly recommend getting this car. And we do got one more 164 to wrap up on here. We got Ryan Blaney's Ford Motorcraft Ford Fusion, you know, the good old Wood Brothers 21 car. That is finally released in the 164 scale, along with the 124 version as well. So you can get, so any Ryan Blaney fans are, you know, they finally got their cup car in, so that's really cool right there. Not too much to say about that car, but you know, the car doesn't have rookie stripes anymore, so that's good for Ryan. And almost saw him win at Texas last week, guys, so look out for Ryan Blaney. He's looking like to be another strong competitor for this new generation of NASCAR drivers. And we also got some 124 cars as well, guys. And if you guys remember how I just talked about the Bristol car, we do have the race win of the Bristol car for Kevin Harvick in his number 4 Busch beer car. The Bristol race that was at August, Bass Pro Shops NRA 500 Bristol race, the night race. Yeah, Kevin Harvick ended up winning that race, and that was a pretty cool, memorable win, especially when him and Tony Stewart decided to do the burnout together, because, you know, it was Tony Stewart's final race at Bristol. So that was a really cool looking, that was a nice tribute and homage to, you know, to Kevin Harvick's owner, Tony Stewart, of course. So really nice looking car. It definitely has a lot of cool race marks to it, and nice confetti as well. The Bristol cars always look very nice, so this is definitely going to be a must get for any Kevin Hart fans out there. Buddy Poley, if you're watching this, shout out to you, man. And we also, to wrap up on the diecast, guys, we do got another Darlington throwback car. This is only exclusive for the 124, guys, so that's why I'm reviewing this car, because they did not make this car in the 164 version, unfortunately, but it is Greg Biffle's number 16 Hooters Darlington throwback. And man, this car looks awesome, man. It is, of course, paying tribute to the only other guy that I know, the most recognizable paint scheme back in the golden age of NASCAR, back in the 1990s. Alan Quickie and the Hooters car, that's what Greg Biffle's paying a homage to. And man, this car was a favorite at the race, paint scheme wise. I know it didn't run too well, but man, really cool to see that Hooters was able to, you know, sponsor Roush Fenner Racing last year, and now they're even extending their partnership now with Henner Motorsports and Chase Elliott. So really cool seeing Hooters, you know, made a comeback last year, and now they're back with Henrik Motorsports this year. So really nice look right there, and a very nice looking throwback. I dropped something, so if you guys are wondering what that noise was. Sense of direction is really off today, but all these diecasts you can find at your local diecast dealers, or as the 3 dealers I just mentioned: Plan B Sales, Casey Diecast, or Lesher's Diecast. So lots of cool looking diecasts, and hopefully we'll get some more in very soon, so we don't have to wait any more longer. So yeah, very nice wave for the diecast. And now we're gonna go on to our new pre-orders, guys. And you guys know all these pre-orders that I just that you guys just saw on the showcase. Make sure you pre-order them, and they won't get canceled, which we'll be showing those very shortly. But we do got a lot of cool looking race win cards that are up for pre-order. First one up, definitely a lot of Chase Elliott fans were waiting for this. It was not released after the week of Martinsville, but after the week of Texas, this car finally was up for pre-order, guys. I think it was due to licensing rights. But the Chase Elliott 2017 Allegiant Martinsville race win truck is now available for pre-order, only in the 124 version, but it's gonna look really nice, and it's gonna be as you guys know, Chase Elliott won this race and the Martinsville race, so that was really cool right there, and kind of not surprising because it's another Cup guy winning in the truck series. You know, can't really say too much about that, you know, considering how it was gonna turn out, but I'm sure lots of Chase Elliott fans like Matt Dierkel, and by the way, shout out to him as well. That's his favorite driver. But yeah, this car is gonna look really nice, and hopefully it'll not make it into the chopping block, which it probably won't, because Lionel knows that this car will sell because it's Chase Elliott. So I mean, he's probably what, the second best-selling driver on diecast, on par with Dale Jr. But yeah, I think we're going to see this car getting made for sure. And speaking of keeping up to date with the Martinsville cars, guys, we got Brad Keselowski's 2017 Miller Lite race win from Martinsville. Of course, he ended up winning that race. He became the first driver in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series for this year to win twice. So cool to see Bad Brad coming into victory lane, especially getting the the good old Miller Lite car back into victory lane. So that was really cool right there. I didn't really watch too much about the Martinsville race, but I heard it was kind of exciting. But yeah, that's actually the race I actually did not. I think that's the only race I did not see. But I'll probably have to look at the highlights and see what happened on that race. But yeah, Bad Brad was able to take that win away, and thankfully it wasn't Kyle Busch, right? And we got one more race win car, guys, for this pre-orders, and we got good old 7-time champion Jimmie Johnson. He ended up taking the win away for stage 3 at the Texas race. Ryan Blaney was running very well, and he won the first 2 stages in the Texas race from last week. But you know, good old 7-time Jimmie Johnson, you know, had to squeeze in there and get his first win this season. So yeah. I can't really say too much about that right there. Kind of no surprise, Jimmie Johnson, probably one of the most talented drivers and respectable drivers in the NASCAR series for sure. So not surprising seeing him get a win. I mean, it was all gonna happen eventually, even though people still are on the hate wagon for Jimmie Johnson. But to wrap up on those race cars, guys, we also got some throwbacks as well, guys, and this is the first Johnson throwback car. It wasn't the first. This next car I'm about to show you, it's not the first Johnson throwback car that was on pre-order, but this is the first Johnson throwback car for this year that has been officially revealed, and this is revealed by Lionel Racing and Team Penske, confirmed by them as well. But Brad Keselowski is bringing back the Miller genuine draft car, guys. If you guys remember this paint scheme he drove in 2015 for the 25th anniversary, Miller Lite and Penske and that wonderful duo. So you know, I do like this car a lot, and a lot of people will, but it's basically the same car as it is from 2015. However, it does have, you know, it's not new. It does have a different Ford mold and all that, because you guys remember 2016 they had a different Ford. So there's gonna be some differences to this car, but I still like this car regardless. It's a really nice looking throwback, especially to any Rusty Waller fans out there. You're really gonna enjoy getting this car. But I was going to think that they're going to do something different, but kind of cool that we finally are going to see this car at the Darlington Raceway, because you guys know he drove this car before at Richmond, if I'm not mistaken, from 2015. I believe so, yeah. So yeah, that's going to be really cool that that's going to be a throwback for this year. It's at least it's actually a throwback, unlike last year's car, which wasn't really a throwback in my opinion. I think it was more of a company throwback, but yeah, still really cool right there. Glad to see, you know, already a good start off with throwbacks for this year, so very nice. But that car is up for pre-order, guys. And the last car we got to talk about on this pre-orders list, and well, let's just say the Tide ride is back. As you guys know, Tide is the main sponsor, is, you know, a good secondary sponsor for Matt Kenseth. And Matt Kenseth's been getting a lot of cool sponsors lately. I mean, of course, with the introduction with Tide and Peak antifreeze. So Kenseth's been getting a lot of sponsorship money now after Dollar General left and DeWalt became his main sponsor. But anyways, there was some licensing agreements to go with Tide, and they finally made this car, and it will have the pods on there as well, guys. If you guys remember, on his Dodge throwback car, it did not have the pods, which was inaccurate, but still liked it regardless because it was a nice throwback. But however, though, this car will be placed on a base in both scales, and this is due to, I know Tide is not an alcohol, or, you know, it's not, you know, an energy drink. My only assumption is probably because Tide pods, I mean, there was like a story about a couple years ago of, like, you know, children swallowing these things because they look like candy. I have to admit, they do look, you know, kind of bite-sized, but, you know, they are not, you know, edible. So and, you know, they had to make a lot of regulations on this, but that's my only assumption. Or other than that, maybe Tide requested to put this car on a base. Maybe that's a lot more clear agreement, because we do have had some sponsors before that specifically want a base on their car. For example, like Cheez-It from a couple years ago with Greg Biffle and the Carl Evans Diecast. They want all their cars on a base. So it all has to go with just, you know, whoever is the main sponsor of the, you know, of the car. In this case, is Tide, so they got to, you know, come up with some license agreements to come with that. And so, you know, I don't think it's gonna be too much of a loss. You know, maybe it will. Maybe we'll get the Monster Energy logos on this car since it's gonna be on the base. But I wouldn't get my hopes up just yet. Since the Monster Energy cars, the Monster Energy logos are not gonna be on the 164s. But yeah, that is gonna be a little, you know, annoying seeing that both scales, especially a 124 version, on a plastic base. That's really irritating. I understand 164s, but for 124s, it's really annoying. And this come from a guy who collected the Carl Edwards Kellogg's cars from 2014 and under that. And yeah, it was very annoying, and it just really disrupts the display value of the car. So yeah, I mean, I got mixed feelings about that, but at least we got this car for pre-order. That's all I'm happy about. So yeah, that's most I gotta say about this pre-orders, guys. So yeah, we'll just get on to the next topic, and we're gonna get on to our final topic, guys. And of course, it is going to be the cancellations, guys. And I'm saying this is my final topic because we got a lot of cancellations, so this is probably gonna take up the next half of this episode. So get ready, you know, to get all caps on the comments and start the rage mode. Like, oh, it's not as bad as YouTube. On Instagram, it's crazy with all the rage comments about cancellations. Always funny to hear that stuff, but I'm sure we all grown up to like cancellations. So we're gonna go on to the cancellations, guys, and of course we gotta start off with some Xfinity cars. I mean, were you not surprised we're gonna see any more Xfinity cars getting canceled? First one up is Michael, and that's TMC Transportation Xfinity car. Only canceled in the 164 scale. So for 124 collectors, you're still in luck. This car is still available for pre-order. I believe it's still made MOQ so far, but we'll have to make sure, because Michael and Ned, you know, his diecasts are a little confusing, but his Pilot Flying J car did made the cancellation as well. So you're not out of luck yet for Michael and Ned fans, but for the 164 collectors, yeah, the TMC car gonna be canceled. I'm not surprised right there, because his Cup ride from a few years ago, I think last year or the year before, he had the same car, the TMC car, and that was canceled in both scales. So wasn't really surprised seeing this car getting canceled, because it's I don't know, not really an eye-popping car in my opinion, not really recognizable as well. Speaking of more Xfinity diecast, guys, we got another Xfinity car, like I said, and it is on Bubba Wallace and the number 6 Lidios Xfinity car, and that's very unfortunate because that is his main sponsor for this year, Lidios, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm a really horrible at pronunciation, but I'm sure that's what that means, Lidios, I think. But that's canceled not only in the 124 version, but also in 164. So yeah, not looking too good for any Darrell Wallace Jr. fans out there. Poor Bubba, man. I mean, at least we see a diecast that was made from last year, and that made it into the NASCAR Authentics bonus wave. But yeah, not looking too good for Bubba. I really thought this car was going to make it. I do like the purple on this car. I'm sure another YouTuber, David Land, would love to see this car as well because he is big on purple diecast. So, of course, David Land and many other people are not going to be too happy seeing that this car is being canceled. So, yeah, hopefully another purple diecast will come in soon. But that really stinks right there. Next one up, it is going to be no more Xfinity diecast. It's all Cup cars. I know that's surprising, right? And next one up is good old Danica Patrick's Mobile 1 annual protection car. Canceled only in the 124 ARC standard version. So 164 is still available for pre-order, guys. And this paint scheme, you know, it's okay. I think it's my least favorite Mobile 1 paint scheme for this year. You know, I kind of, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this car. You know, I mean, the colors do look a little weird. I prefer Kurt Busch's car a little more. Just, I don't know, the red numbers with the green and the white just doesn't really go too well for me, in my opinion. But of course, many other people might disagree and think it's a cool car, and that's cool. You know, that's just my opinion. But I can probably see why this car was canceled in just the 124 version. But 164 version is still available, and the Elite version as well is still available. So not too much of a big loss right there. Just for 124 collectors. Speaking of more 124 cars being canceled, guys, we got another Storehouse Racing car, guys, and it is Clint Bowyer's Haas Automation Ford Fusion, only canceled in the 124 Elite version. That right there is not really a big loss because Elite diecasts are very expensive unless you really want good detail, and we know how Lionel's quality is for this for the past few years now. It's not been that good. That's just some constructive criticism I have to say about Lionel, because the diecasts aren't really as much worth as they are now, especially with the Elite diecasts. They are expensive, like $100 and $110 for a diecast. Woo! If only we had that much money, guys. But anyways, back onto the topic. Yeah, this car got canceled only in the Elite version, guys. So the 164 version and the 124 standard version is still available. So not too much to go crazy over there. Still a really nice looking car, and hopefully it's going to make MOQ, but not the Elite version though. So we got even some more 124 cars. I think actually the rest of these cars I'm about to show you are all 124 cars, but I'll say if they are Elite or ARCs. But next one up, guys, it is Kyle Busch's Interstate Batteries car. This is canceled in the 124 standard version. This is actually surprising, guys, because, you know, we've had the Kyle Busch Interstate Batteries car being produced for a good couple years now, but you know, the paint scheme has been the same for a good 2 or 3 years now, so I guess people are starting to get tired of seeing this car. Yeah, they're starting to get tired of seeing this car, you know, without any change to it besides, you know, the new Toyota Camry mold. So I guess the people are smoking. Wow, spoken. Holy Christ, not smoking. Spoken. This is, like I said, this is what happens when you film a NASCAR Diecast News late at night, people. Get ready for the bloopers. But the Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry car, yeah, this is canceled in the 124 ARC version. So the Elite version and the 164 version still available for pre-order. And next one up is another Toyota car. We got the Gray Galding Sunfrog.com car. So of course, when you got someone named Gray Galding, you probably won't even think twice of ordering their diecast. Just kidding. But yep, the young rookie driver Gray Galding, driving for BK Racing, and he drove this ironically cool looking frog car. That's why I like to call it the frog car. But unfortunately for any 124 collectors, you guys aren't going to be, you know, riveting out those pockets because this car is canceled in the 124 ARC version. So 164 collectors are still in luck, so don't go too crazy yet. I know a lot of people in the comments do like collecting 164 diecasts, including myself, because it's a lot more cheaper. But in the Elite version, I think there's an Elite version offered for this. I don't think so, but I don't know. It could be big on the cheap plastic mold, as one of my good friends, Derek Lewis, likes to call it, and Robin Noonan. But yeah, not really much to say about this car, but definitely sucks for the 124 collectors out there. We've got some Front Row Motorsports diecast getting canceled. We got the Landing Castles number 34 CCX. Play it safe around those ding trains car. I was just exaggerating right there, but you have the CSX car. Holy Christ. That is, you know, very hard to pronunciate. Holy Christ. But yeah, the play it safe train car, that's what I'm gonna call it. You know, I don't have time to pronounce, you know, those 3 letters. That has been canceled in the elite version only, so like I said, you're not really, this is too much, guys. Unless you wanted the more detailed version, then that's unfortunate. But 124 version and the standard version of the 124 and the 164 version are still available. I know I'm keep repeating that a lot on the cancellations, guys, but you know, I gotta say that a lot because you know that not all just because I show the picture of just the car doesn't mean all the scales are canceled. There's still many more versions of the cars being produced. And same thing with the David Reagan Campy World Good Sam car. That is canceled, only the 124 Elite version, which thank God, because that car looks really nice. I'm really hoping that we get this car produced, and so far looking so good so far. So like I said, 124 standard version still available for pre-order, and the 164 version as well. We got ourselves yet another Stewart Haas racing car that is on the chopping block, and it is another Mobile One car, guys. It is Kurt Busch's Mobile One annual production car, and you know, this car definitely cannot catch a break. You know, it already had to, it made the pre-order list, and then it had to get axed out due to they had to add some monster logos on this car and all that. But of course, the picture I'm showing you is an older version because I can't find the original photo. But this is very unfortunate because the 124 version was going to have the Monster Energy logos, but now that's canceled, so you're not going to get an accurate diecast when you get the 164 version. I believe the 124 Elite version is still available pre-order, guys, but it's a lot more expensive. So for any, you know, people who are trying to save money and trying to get the standard version, really kind of screwed out of luck because the 124 standard version has been canceled. And that's very unfortunate, but at least the 164 version will be made, even though it's not going to have the Monster Energy logos. That's the only downside you're going to have right there. And to wrap up the cancellations and this episode of the NASCAR Diecast News, we got another BK racing car, guys, and it is the one and only, the reincarnation of Brian Scott or Danica Patrick. We got... oh my goodness, Corey LaJoy in the number 83 JAS expedited shipping car, expedited shipping tracking car. That has been canceled in 124 ARC version, which is very interesting because we did had a photo from a couple episodes ago that showed a prototype of this car, and it looks like a 124, so that's very unfortunate. I guess the only people who are going to get the 124s are just, you know, the people who worked for BK Racing and in that team, so that's very unfortunate. But like I said, the 164 version, it's still available for pre-order, guys, so you're not really kind of screwed out of luck. But overall, guys, it's cancellations. I think the biggest downgrade has to be all the 124 collectors out there. Most of these cars were affected only for 124s, with the exception of the Michael and that car, guys. So if you're a 124 collector, guys, these diecasts, of course, probably will not be showing up for this year, but maybe there's always a time for next year and so forth, guys. But other than that, guys, this has been the NASCAR Diecast News. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, guys, please give this video a good comment, like, and if you guys have not already, of course, I gotta highly encourage you guys to check out my channel. If you guys have not subscribed already, feel free to give this video a good like and hit that subscription button below, as you guys will be updated with more NASCAR Diecast news and NASCAR Diecast videos, and you know, anything NASCAR Diecast and so forth, guys. But until then, guys, this is Original Big Bry signing off. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for your continuing support on the NASCAR Diecast news. Everyone have a great, safe Easter and enjoy this off weekend for the racing season. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the NASCAR Diecast News. Well, until then, guys, this is Brian LaFleur Jr. signing off, and happy Easter, everybody.